Gamers, what's good? We have a brand new event coming up, the XYZ Cup, and as you can see by my face, I'm not excited. I mean, these cup events are always pretty awful. The last one we had was the Link event, and that was atrocious. Everyone hated it. And now this time we're doing it with XYZ. Not only that, but they decided to leave in stun as a very, very viable strategy. Labrynth is going to be very, very good as well. And of course, a ton of XYZ decks are definitely viable for this event. I just think this whole ladder format for an event is just not the best. You know, DC Cup is already not the most fun event to play through, which, you know, I guess for the more competitively oriented people, might be epic. I don't know. They didn't really do too much with the ban list. Normally here I would take you to the staples, but you know, all we have to really see for the staples is that they left every hand trap legal. All the staples are here. Purrely is going to be a relevant deck, so a lot of people are going to run Kaijus. So staples wise, I don't think we have too much to say, honestly. But as per usual, when there's a new event, we do a what should you play. So for today, I'm going to be showing you a couple of deck lists. Before we get into those lists, I'll just show you really quickly what I plan on playing. And I don't think this is going to be necessarily one of the best decks. Pure Fire King is a solid XYZ strategy. Of course, it does lose a lot by not having access to links, but I don't think it loses so much that it's like unplayable. You can still get a lot of your graveyard set up. Probably going to be adjusting my list as I play the event to try to make it work for the event, but I think I'm going to go for Fire Kings. I think it sounds fun and watchable because we are going to stream it, of course. So I'm going to start by showing you some lists that I think are going to be a bit more top tier, and then I'm going to show you some of the more cool stuff that people send me, you know, the interesting builds. A lot of the lists people sent me, I'm not like 100% sure how well they're going to perform in the format, so, you know, we'll just have to wait and see for that, but I still think it's a ton of fun to do these videos where we just look at a bunch of decks that you can try out for the event. Of course, you don't get to have nearly as much fun in an event like this because it's not a festival. You do like kind of have to win if you want to get the gems, and believe me, I want the gems. So with that being said, we got some lists and replays to check out, so let's get into it. So for starters, because this is a more competitive event, I also want to talk about some decks that I won't be showing replays for, but that you definitely need to keep in mind. So we have Stun here, which is like really well situated for this format. Shout out to Unnicknamed for his stun list that he sent me. Stun nicknamed over here. Yeah, so as you can see, we got our barrier statues, we got our Ryos, we got Luna, Border, Shifter, you know, Morganite, a couple of battle traps, you know, because going second is a bit tough for a deck like this. And yeah, I think we're just hoping to just like stun the hell out of the opponent here. Nothing really too complicated about it. It's yeah, it's stun, right? So not much else to say, really. I just want to warn you guys that you're probably going to see a ton of this, like an immense amount of stun, and you might end up wanting to take the stun pill. If you decide that you're facing too much stun and that you want to play stun yourself because you're sick of it for this event, I'm not going to say anything. But anyway, we have another deck to look at here. And here from Sarai in the Discord is another list that I don't really want to show a replay of. And I just kind of want to make it clear that Labrynth is also definitely going to be very popular this event. Now, this build of Labrynth is kind of turbo based. I mean, we're running what, 2 maxi, 1 droll. We have just 1 rollback. We're running some battle traps. We're running Scrap Iron Scarecrow. So like, I'm not sure how optimal this build is. We do have Typhon, by the way, which Typhon is crazy in Labrynth. So this is going to be like a huge card this event for Labrynth, and I'm sure Labrynth is going to do very, very well. You know, if you guys play Labrynth, you already know what build of Labrynth you like playing, and they're pretty much all legal for this event. So if you have Labrynth and you want a deck that's going to be solid and most likely the best deck, or at least one of the best decks of the event, then that's a safe pick. But shout out Sarai for sending the list. We won't be checking out a Labrynth replay. I'm sure your replay is very epic, but it's just we have a lot of decks to cover today, and not a lot of people want to watch a Labrynth replay, so moving on. All right, and next up here from Jadistic, we have Blind Second Horus cards pile staples thing. And this deck, I know it looks crazy and it looks messy and it looks silly, but Jadistic did, I think, if I'm not mistaken, top 16 or top 8. No, I think it was top 8 at my tournament with a list similar to this. So it's definitely not a bad strategy. You know, there is a method to the madness here. This deck is really, really awesome. By the way, I'll take this moment to just point out that all the lists you'll see in this video, except for the one I made in Master Duel, will be linked in the description. Shout out to all the people in the Discord that sent some Master Duel meta links so that I could just link the lists in the description. That way, if you guys want to copy any deck, you know, you can just go do that if you're like missing a card name or something. But yeah, we are going to check out a replay for this one because, you know, now we're getting into based territory. But I do want to point out, I think blind second in this event is going to be quite strong. I didn't get a replay for every single blind second deck, but like some examples, Exo Sister is really, really good at going second and can run a lot of board breakers. Numeron, of course, is also going to be a real thing. Don't sleep on blind second decks. Honestly, I was hearing someone in Discord earlier, Huda, was mentioning maybe even running like a 1 day of peace just as a way to protect yourself from getting killed, or, you know, a threatening roar or something, just so you can make sure to make it to turn 3 if you're playing a going first deck. So yeah, going second should be pretty good this event. Let's move on to that replay. All right, so here we go. Let's see blind second Horus in action. And I do believe that both Styxius and Jadistic were testing here, so this is going to be spoilers for another list that we're going to be showcasing in this video. But yeah, let's just not talk about this too much, but it is Crystal Beast, and it is super based. Shout out Neshi, by the way. Dope career, man. Thank you for your service. So going for a Merrymaker here. Merrymaker can then go into a Champion Sargus. We already have the Regulus in hand, so we're just going to grab a Tally-Ho Springans, detach some materials, grab a Springans kit, summon out the Rocky, summon out the Merrymaker. Yo, this Springans Crystal Beast action is looking kind of crazy here. Dropping a Utopic Draco Future on the field. We're going wombo combo here. Going for Regulus, putting the Rocky in the back row, set the Red Reboot. By the way, Red Reboot, probably a good pick for this event. We're going to be seeing a lot of these types of decks, like a bunch of trap decks and stuff. So, you know, definitely something to keep in mind there. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and activate the Pressured Planet Rights off. And then we're going to summon out the Kashtira Fenrir, activate Rite of Aramasir, set up the Fateful Adventure. Then we can summon out our Diabel. We can go for the effect of Fateful Adventure and grab our Draco back. We can go for King Sarcophagus. Oh, that makes sense. Discard Draco back, dump Horus, and then we get to trigger Draco back, equip it to our Adventure token. Very, very cool. Okay. So at this point, we're going to go for Fenrir, search the Rice Heart. By the way, is it just me or did we not search anything with our Diabel? Yeah, interesting. Anyway, we're going to go for Summon Happy, Summon Horus, go to battle, and I think we just clear right here. Yeah, just go for lethal, just like that. It's that easy, baby. So, yeah, putting up damage pretty easy for this deck. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting plays you can do with a pile like this, but I don't think Jad could really cover them all in one replay. Still, dope replay. Let's move on to the next deck. All right, and I failed to mention this earlier, but another clear top-tier contender for this event, like definitely top 4, top 5 decks, is going to be Purrely. This deck is going to be terrifying, and I highly recommend you guys run some thrusts with a Herald or a Kaiju or something, because Purrely, X-Purrely Noir Pass is going to be pretty popular this event. So shout out Snowy Orca for sending his Ghost Trick Purrely list. And yeah, this list doesn't need anything else in XYZ, right? Like, this deck is completely unhit. It is just full power, as strong as it is in Master Duel. And by the way, this list is looking mad clean. Just a bunch of 3-ofs running max capacity on most of the cards. 2 of talents, because that's just what people do, you know, that's just the way it goes. And even running the Brow, which is like, yo, low-key kind of based. It's kind of based. I feel like I showed pretty much all the decks that were submitted that are like, you know, super crazy, like undoubtedly going to be super competitive for the format. Not to say I covered each one, you know, I didn't get any submissions for Exo Sister, but that's clearly going to be a great pick. And there's definitely some decks that I'm not even thinking of that are probably a good pick as well. And I'm not even saying these are bad picks, by the way. I mean, I honestly don't even know. I'm looking at Kairyu, Shin, and Sharks, right? So I have no idea really what to expect here. But this list is coming in from Fusion Matrix, and I mean, it looks interesting, you know. This will make full use of full armored Dark Knight Lancer. You know, we even have the trap here, full armored Xyz. So I mean, that's a based card. That's really epic. I'm not gonna talk about this too much. I really have nothing to say. I don't know. Let's go watch the replay. Okay, that Purrely one was pretty long, and here we're playing Kairyu Shin. So I'm really hoping we're explosive enough that we can just, you know, get right through that replay really quickly, especially because I don't know what most of the cards here are doing. So I know these. So, you know, we normal Jellyfish, special Abyss Shark, which allows us to search a card, special summon it. And now we can go into Xyz Armor Fortress. Xyz Armor Fortress will detach 2 to search 2 cards, and they're going to go for Imperm. Damn. But we did have the cross out. Actually, this hand is pretty goated when you look at it. We got the called by and the cross out. So you know we're doing good. I think we're playing in ranked ladder right now just to test the deck for the event. So if we can get a win with this, I mean, that says a lot. So grabbing a full armored Xyz and an armored Xyz here, we can set the full armored Xyz, activate Magellanica the Deep, our field spell, and we go into full armored Crystal Zero Lancer. Never seen this card before. Well, yeah. All right, our opponent's going for Bonfire. We can actually negate Bonfire with our Jellyfish here because we control a card that's treated as Umi, which is pretty funny. And they're going to go for Neo Space Connector. We're going to go for full armored Xyz and just go straight into our full armored Dark Knight Armor Master Lancer thing, you know. And they're going for a Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, going for a Assault here. And we don't have that much interruption left. I mean, how do we not get blown out here? I can't really see how. We have like the Sock left, and that's it, right? That's all the interruption we have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, we're gonna fast forward here because this deck takes 1 billion years to play. We're gonna go called by on the Hare. Fair enough. And then they're gonna link away into Asp. Wow, you really ran out of. Your opponent must have misplayed or something. There's just no way. There's just no way that ended there, you know? By the way, the Royal SP looking mad clean. We just, yep, okay. All right, Kairyu Shin, I guess. Activate Sea Stealth, get back Crystal Shark from the grave, and we can summon a Nash Knight here. Nash Knight detach 2, attach a material and a material from the field, go into CXC's Nash Knight. Then we can detach to summon the Silent Honor Dark and equip it. Then we can trigger our Trap in the Grave to equip again to make it huge. Then we can go for Sea Stealth to summon, go for a swing, detach to swing again, and call it a day. All right, pretty interesting stuff. I still don't know what happened, but maybe you do. Moving on. All right, now I kind of spoiled this a little bit earlier, but from Styxius, we have Crystal Beast. And Styxius actually made it to top 16, I believe, with Crystal Beast. I might be misremembering in my MDC Cup a couple of months ago. So Styxius knows his stuff, and in honor of the great Neshi, we have to cover Crystal Beast in this video, right? So look, this is turbo based. We've got Horus in here. We've got Arthurian King Regulus. I think we have that little Springans package that we were doing earlier. This list is looking insane. Again, the links to all the lists will be in the description. We're also running the Xyz Armor Torpedo with the full armored Xyz line, which is super based. I mean, I love that stuff. I guess we can make rank 3s in a couple of ways in this deck. Probably not the most common thing, but it's probably very doable. So yeah, I mean, we're just gonna go check out the replay. I actually know Crystal Beast cards quite a bit, but I'm more so used to Conclave control, so you know, I'll try to keep up as best I can. All right, let's see the Crystal Beasts in action. So we've got Imseti in hand, we've got Sapphire Pegasus, called by Ash. It can't look much better than that. So we'll discard the Imseti and the Armored Xyz. We're going to go for Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. Best card ever. Activate Pegasus, put Carbuncle in the back row, pop the Carbuncle to grab Golden Rule, activate Golden Rule to put 2 more Pegasus in the back row, summon back the Carbuncle from the grave, trigger the Carbuncle effect to special summon all our monsters from the back row. Basically pendulum summoning in reverse, right? So summoning 2 Pegasus here to put a Topaz Tiger and a Emerald Tortoise, sorry, in the back row. And now we're going to go into a Springans Merrymaker. So Springans Merrymaker can dump the Rocky. Then we can go into our gigantic champion Sargus. Sargus can search our Tally-Ho Springans. We can activate Tally-Ho Springans, detach 3, and search Springans Kit. Then we can trigger, special summon Merrymaker from the grave, special summon Rocky, and special summon out the Kit. We're going to trigger our gigantic champion Sargus to add back our Tortoise to the hand, go into Castel, detach 2, just to go into our Utopic Future. And now with Utopic Future, we can go into Draco Future. So basically the same setup we saw earlier. Now we can summon out the Tortoise. That was our normal summon. We didn't use our normal summon? Hey, yo, what? Go into Xyz Armor Torpedo, so that's the rank 3. I guess it is integral to the combo. We can go King Sarcophagus, discard the Horus Imseti to dump a Happy. Now we summon out Happy, summon out Horus, and we can go into our Galaxy Eyes. Then we go into Xyz's Armor Fortress. Xyz's Armor Fortress, detach only one to grab the trap. We can set the full armored Xyz and called by, and we've got a good amount of interruption here. Not to mention when a monster, materials detach, we'll get the effect of Sargus to bounce. We can go into our Dark Knight Lancer, which is a sock. I mean, we got a lot of things going on here. So let's see what we can do. So opponent is going to start off Jadistic. Here is going to start off with the Diabel, triggering the Water Enchantress in the grave. That's probably a negate. Yep, I figured as much. So negate the Water Enchantress. We can fast forward a little bit here to see the interactions. Then we can go for Champion Sargus and pop a card because a material was removed from an Xyz monster. Jadistic is going to go for Droplet, negating 2 of our cards here. And we're going to go for Called By on the Diabel. At this point, we still have this stuff to worry about that we don't know is in hand, right? So summoning out a Snake Eyes Ash. We're going to Ash the Fateful Adventure, surprisingly. Then Horus time, but Utopic Draco Future is negated, so the attempt to negate won't really do anything here. Going for King Sarcophagus, dump, 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 summon a bunch. I mean, how the hell? In what world do we not lose here? How do we not lose? Draglubion? Wait, is it? I'm actually confused. Full armored Xyz? Oh, we still get the attack boost. Oh, oh no. I forgot about that. I forgot about the attack boost. That is hilarious. That is very, very funny. All right, so we get to pop our Pegasus here to grab a card, summon back the Horus Imseti, summon back the Happy, grab the Armored Xyz, set the Crystal Miracle, which is an Omni-Negate if you have one of these in the back row, and we just swing for game. That was very convincing. Man, I kind of wish I still had my my Crystal Beast cards, honestly. I would play this. All right, and from Mazinger, always bring in the sauce, we've got the Suships. And the Suships, I mean, you know, they're nice. They're pretty budget if you don't count all the staples you're running. We're also running a little bit of a Zodiac package in here. I love Suship. I think you mostly run this as a going second deck, but we're not running that many board breakers, so I might be wrong. I'll just have to check out the replay to figure out what Maz is doing here. We do have a huge Zodiac package, which is going to make a stacked Zeus. And yeah, the Suships, they all kind of proc on battle. They're actually pretty solid cards. Honestly, I'll just let the replay speak for itself because I don't even know what to say about Suship. All right, so let's see this deck in action here. Let's see if we're going first or second. It wasn't super clear to me. It seems like our opponent chose to go first, so we're going second. I don't know if we want to go second, but I mean, this hand sure as hell allows it. And we're playing against Yubel, so this is probably in ladder. Shout out to Moss for that. Activating the Nightmare Pain, summoning the Lotus. Activate Lotus. We're going to Ash the Lotus. That makes a ton of sense. And let's see what's next here. So we're going to fast forward a little bit through this Yubel turn. Our opponent's going to go Nightmare Pain, Pop Spirit, search the Eternal Favorite, Spirit Effect. We're going to chain the Maxi, and they're going to chain Ash to our Maxi. All right, fair enough. So summon Yubel, get to shuffle back the Spirit and our Lotus in the grave to make Phantom. And then in end phase, we're sending the Phantom to the grave just so we can use our Eternal Favorite on opponent's turn. Interesting. I guess that kind of makes sense. Well, no, it doesn't actually, because we don't have a card in hand to discard for the poly effect, so it makes 0 sense actually. Never mind. Should have kept the Phantom. Either way, we go evenly here, and our opponent just kind of puts more cards to banish on the field with their trap. Pretty weird, but whatever. We go Painful Decision, dump the Shari to grab a Shari Red. Then we can summon out the Shari Red as well as the Suship Uni. With these two, we can go into Suship Uni Dreadnought. And Dreadnought can draw, then we get to summon out our Shari Red as well as the Shirawo and go into Shirawo Class Carrier. So I believe this card will negate 2 face-up cards during the opponent's battle phase or something like that. Is it negate? Yeah, negate their effects. Okay, and it's permanent, by the way, the negate. So that's pretty good. So our opponent here is searching a Lotus, going for the Samsara Lotus effect to summon out a Spirit of Yubel. And then they're going to summon out a Phantom, go to battle phase. On attack declaration, we're going to go for the effect of Dreadnought. And they're going to chain their Phantom of Yubel, negating our Dreadnought, I believe. So it gets negated. They get to crash for a little bit here. And then they're going to shuffle back 2 to summon out a Phantom of Yubel. So at this point, we're going to go for our daily special, revealing 3 Suships. And then our opponent can add 1 to our hand. We add the Shari Red. And then we draw into Zodiac Barrage. Okay. Going for Dreadnought this time, we can actually negate both cards. Go for Barrage. Barrage pop itself. Summon out the Ratpier. Normal summon our Ram. Go into Tornado Dragon. That makes a lot of sense. Going Tornado Dragon here just to pop the Nightmare Pain and not have to think about it anymore. Now we can go to battle. Since it's negated, we can just beat over the Phantom of Yubel, do some more damage, and I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped a Zeus on the field here. Yep, here's the Zeus. We're looking pretty damn good here. Totally in control. And yeah, I mean, that's Suship cleaning up tier 1 Yubel right here. So can't really sleep on that. Okay, shout out to Moss for that replay. I mean, the deck is sick. I'm not sure how good it's going to be for, you know, a ladder event, but it is very based. And we're going to end it off with Fire King, actually. So I didn't even notice this in my Discord, but someone did submit a Xyz focused Fire King list. And this list is probably better than mine because my list, I just copied, you know, what I already had in pure Fire King. And I just, you know, threw only Xyz in the extra deck and tried to modify the deck a little bit. This seems a bit more focused on being Xyz focused. So I might just straight up, honestly, steal this list. So shout out to Raphael in the Discord for this. And yeah, we're going to end it off on this deck. I think pure Fire King is really awesome. One thing I want to point out, by the way, some lists you've seen today might have this card here, Pinpoint Dash. This card was going to be really broken for the Xyz event, but it did get emergency banned a little bit later after they announced the event. So thank goodness for that. So, you know, if you see this card, just replace it with something else or with nothing. With that being said, though, I mean, look, I think Fire King is a really solid pick for this event. It has good Xyz. It has, you know, good consistency, and it doesn't need its extra deck to do a lot of things. So that's another good thing going for it. You know, you can get your graveyard set up. So a lot of like your typical Fire King plays will work regardless of what your board looks like because all your stuff is happening in the graveyard anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in Fire King for this event. I don't know how crazy it's going to be. Probably not one of the top decks, but I think it's going to be solid. So let's go check out the replay. All right, so ending it off on a high note with pure Fire King. I think pure Fire King is the coolest version of Fire King. And we've got Speedroid in hand, so we can go Terratop, search Takatomborg. We have the Sanctuary as well. So this hand is pretty stacked. Go into Xyz Armor Torpedo. It seems like our opponent has no hand trap, so detach 2 to get a draw. Go into Fortress. Fortress, detach 1 to get a search. We grab our trap. And then we go ahead and activate the Sanctuary. Sanctuary, pop the Ashen hand to grab Volcanics. Then we can trigger Garunix, summon Garunix, pop the Kirin. Kirin effect is going to summon out the OG Garunix. We're going to go into Garunix Eternity, summon out the Volcanics. Volcanics pop the Xyz actually, and search Ponix. Then we get to trigger Ponix in hand and the graveyard effect of our Xyz Garunix. So here we go. Summon out the Ponix, summon out all the materials that were on our Xyz Garunix. Then we get to trigger Ponix, search ourselves the Fire King Skyburn. This is going to pop a bunch of cards when we need it to. Make ourselves a good old Photon Lord, set a couple of cards, and call it a day. So we've got the Suck, and we've got the Skyburn. I'm most likely stealing this list. This is pretty awesome stuff. So we're going to go for full armored Xyz here to set up our Suck early. That's very early, actually, to go for the Suck here, because they get to search the spell. But, I mean, to be fair, I guess if they don't have extenders, like, if they don't have Nightmare Pain, that's pretty damn good. So we're going to go for, yeah, the effect of the Suck in the grave here, and we're going to grab... Okay, so they had the Sharvara. Are we negating? Okay, so we negate Sharvara, and we go for the Suck right now on the Dark Beckoning Beast. Well, I mean, surely they can follow this up, right? Okay, they have opening, but they don't have a Fiend in grave, so they can't discard a Fiend to summon. They're shuffling 2 to go into their fusion. Okay, okay. Do you run out of plays? Oh no! I think this spell alone solos here, right? Pop 2, pop. Oh, yep. Okay, that's... Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Pretty good replay. Man, it must have been really hard to play pure Fire King and ladder, especially with only Xyz. So we're playing a gimped pure Fire King deck, but pretty damn based. Honestly, I probably am stealing this list. But that's going to do it, guys. I mean, that's all the replays we have for today. We showcased a lot of decks today. Hopefully the video is not too crazy long. I tried to kind of speed along to try to show more decks than usual. You know, try to include as many people as possible. So hopefully the people in the Discord appreciate that, and you, the viewer, also appreciate that. Do make sure to let me know in the comments what you're going to be playing for the event. Let me know if I said anything sussy or weird in this video about a deck, made a mistake, anything like that. I'm not perfect, so, you know, call out the L's if you see them. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you, and try to enjoy this event. I mean, good luck with that, but yeah, try, bro.